I was invited by Formula E to the London E-Prix to take part in the Accelerate Amped Championship, but could I win the race on my debut? Before we got into the racing though, we all had to take part in a reaction test on the Batuk machine, 30 seconds to try and get the highest score that you possibly can. That was the end of the 30 seconds. I got a whopping 44, which put me on pole position, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. Then it was time to jump over and get into our rigs and do a little bit of practice, and here I am struggling with trying to figure out how to turn off my pit assist. I could not go any faster than 72 mile an hour for a couple of laps there, but when I did finally figure out which button it was to turn off the pit assist, we were able to get going and we were presented with another challenge. I was struggling a little bit with R Factor 2, which is what the Formula E Championship, the Accelerate Amped Championship, was run on. Was struggling to get used to R Factor 2, but also how the Formula E cars handled. As you can see, making a little bit of contact there with the Mahindra, but in all fairness, they got me back. They took me out afterwards, so that was all fine. We are representing Jaguar, and we're also stepping in for Sophia, who couldn't make the race for this one. She's taken part in the championship so far, so I'm going to now jump in and try and score some really good points for the two of us together in the Jaguar car. But as you can see, slowly starting to get to grips with the London E-Prix circuit. It was a very difficult circuit to get used to, very unforgiving, but it was also good that other drivers were struggling as well, as Antonia there puts it into the wall. So it's good to know I'm not the only one crashing. We did manage to have a practice start, which is something I definitely needed because I didn't know how to start these cars. And as you can see, this was pretty much what was to come in this race. A lot of carnage, a lot of chaos, a little bit of argy-bargy, but now it's finally time to get into what will be the actual race. Can we win our first one on debut? I'm not on pole position. Don't know what's happened here. Somehow we're starting in P6, but we're going to get on with it anyway, and we're going to make up ground, and we are not going to be put down. We are going to be pushing forward to try and make some overtakes. We get past Ashley straight away in the Envision car, move over to the right-hand side. I opted for the outside line. We go late on the brakes. There's a huge pile-up on the inside of turn one. Luckily, it doesn't really extend too far to the outside of the corner, so we get away with that, and we get ourselves up into P3, and then somehow Ashley and Maxime in the McLaren got stuck together. Meanwhile, we're P3. We are hunting down Abby in the Mahindra car, trying to work our way through as we head now in towards this quite fast right hand. This was actually a really enjoyable corner to take. Abby there going into the barrier, and these two just got stuck together, Ashley and Maxime. Maxime just decided to carry Ashley for a couple of corners and basically just show her how it was going. Ashley was struggling quite a bit with the circuit, so took on a little tour on how to take those corners and then decided to drop her after about 4 corners. And as you can see, still struggling. Abby absolutely sent it into me here, pinned me into the wall, so I pit maneuvered her, and as you can see, I did not regret it at all. And it may have slightly caused this huge pile up at the hairpin. This might have been my fault, but we're all going to ignore as there are cars facing the wrong way. I think Abby got pushed down into P8 after that. But she crashed into me, okay? All right? So I pit maneuvered her because she put me into the wall. But there we go. We were through and we were into P2. And now Mitchie, who's won the last 2 races. Mitchie Hoyer is an R Factor 2 god, okay? He plays this game a lot. He knows what he's doing. He's currently in the lead of the race. It's going to be very difficult to try and catch him up as there is just more chaos and more carnage, which part of me was glad that I avoided this part of the racing. The other part of me that loves doing open lobbies with you guys kind of miss doing the stuff like this. I kind of wish I was inside a few of these battles a little bit more, trying to dodge the chaos and the carnage as Antonia tries to send it there on Abby, and then Marcella is getting involved as well. These two are going wheel to wheel. You've got Ashley going into the wall as well. It's all kicking off. Antonia's gone in a little bit too early on the left-hander, and Marcella's just pushed her around, and now she's battling with Ashley for the wooden spoon at the back of the grid as both of them putting each other into the wall. Meanwhile, for us, we're just chilling, you know? I, we are just having a delightful Sunday drive, just going through and navigating this London E-Prix circuit. And as you can see, very, very concentrated. Look at the strain on the face as I'm trying to navigate through the corners and keep it all under control. Because, yeah, okay, we might be in P2. We might be pretty comfortable. Mitchie is, unfortunately, getting away with us. He's setting lap times at about 3 seconds a lap quicker than us, which is absolutely insane, by the way. But all it takes is one mistake. I go down the wrong way, and then I have to get into reverse gear, and you can't really spin these cars around. You can't just go full throttle because some assists are on as well. And as you can see, I'm really trying to get the car going. But you can't really spin the car back around if you do have a mistake. So if we have a mistake, we could lose out a lot of time. We're now back on with the action. Karef fighting with Abby. Karef has a little bit of a nudge there, goes up the inside, and do you know what? As overtakes go, as I've seen throughout this race, that was a respectful, that was a clean overtake. So Ashley, unfortunately, is trying to drive into the wall. And, yeah, she has struggled to find reverse gear as Abby just absolutely wipes out Karef. Now, I've missed the first 2 rounds, but I hear from everybody else that Karef was an absolute dive bomber. He was taking people out all over the place, and I think a lot of people got their revenge. But whilst we were chilling out in second place, we even got ourselves our very own interview with Driver 61's Scott.
Hayden, you're super subbing in this weekend for Sophia. What do you think of the Formula E car and the London E-Prix circuit?
It's definitely a new challenge to try and get used to, but enjoying it a lot. Enjoying this race with all these other influencers as well, and just trying to pick my way through the carnage. And after this interview, I would be very, very happy if you can go over to P1 and do a bit more distracting.
I've already tried to do that, and he's undistractable.
Unfortunately, Scott did not distract Mitchie, and as you can see, he is currently leading the way by quite a while as well. We can look at the track map. He's going through turn 5 now. I'm coming into the last corner. We're quite a bit away, and he's got a lot of free running. So have I, though. So I'm going to utilize this free run and try and put in the best lap times I possibly can to try and catch up to the rest of them. But I'm also hoping that maybe Mitchie can catch up to a bit of traffic. There's a bit of a battle going on right here between, we've got the Andretti, I believe that is, of Formula Lena. You've got Karef as well. Ashley, who is a lap down in the Envision car, also getting into it. So whilst all those three are pushing each other really hard and maybe too hard into the wall as well, that's going to allow, and as we can see right now, Mitchie catching up to these guys as Abby goes very late on the brakes, does exactly what I wanted her to do, which was take out Mitchie, but unfortunately it was not enough. He's already on the back of Karef once again, and as you can see where they are on the track, they're going through the last corner, and we are way back in turn 16 at the moment, so still quite a bit back, still about 20 seconds behind Mitchie, but he's struggling to overtake Karef at the moment, which is perfect for me. This is exactly what I need in order to try and catch up. I need these guys to basically just form a fort. I need Karef right here and Formula Lena to go wheel to wheel and not let anybody through. That would be the perfect scenarios. Karef is going on the attack now of Formula Lena, heading down into the tricky hairpins. The hairpins were so difficult to navigate, but unfortunately Karef does get that wrong. He goes back to being the dive bomb maestro, and that allows Mitchie through very, very easily. Now Karef still fighting with Lena, now also fighting with Marcella, who is a lap down from these two. So whilst these two are getting their noses together, as you can see, my number 2 on the track map, I'm catching these guys up at a rate of knots right now, and this is not a good place to be catching up to 3 other drivers. I do not want to be in a 4-way battle, but it's going to happen. I send it up the inside of Marcelo. We get it done. Unfortunately, the camera changes to Logan in P4 at that moment, but then it's back on me. I'm trying to go up the inside of Karef. We get it done, and now it is on the attack of Formula Lena. Finally, some battling. Finally, some wheel-to-wheel action between me and the other drivers as we go around the outside here into the hairpin. Brake a little bit earlier, and look at this. The switchback of dreams on Formula Lena. Unfortunately, though, she was smart to it. She knew exactly what was coming. Positioned the car on the inside once again, trying to go wheel-to-wheel through this. Unfortunately, the camera angles are not doing my battle justice, but this was a really nice battle with Formula Lena. Unfortunately, the pressure got to her. she did put it into the wall, and that was battle over. We're now in clean air, and we're now going to try again to maybe catch up to Mitchie, who is about 36 seconds up the road for me. He is 36 seconds up the road in a 14-lap race. I tried my best on debut to overtake and get Mitchie, but there was no way to do it. He is the R Factor 2 king, and he is the Accelerate Amped champion as well. So, do you know what? Thank you very much, Antonio, for taking him out across the line, because I respect that, okay? That's what he deserves. We finished in P2. We were so far clear of P3 that we were just literally weaving and celebrating our P2, our podium. A podium on debut. We can take that. I've never driven this game before, nor have I driven the Formula E cars. Got to say, it was a challenge, but a challenge that I absolutely loved. I enjoyed the whole race. It was good fun. As you can see, I'm just pure vibing right now, weaving. I even decided that wasn't going to be it. I'm going to see what the track is like backwards. Scared a lot of drivers. Ashley was coming the normal way, trying to finish her race, and I was going flat out towards her, as was that driver there going through the last corner. So, yeah, the track backwards also pretty enjoyable, I've got to say. But that was it for the Accelerate Amped Championship, my debut, P2. Very happy with that. And then it was time to go and enjoy everything else that the Formula E weekend had to offer. Some really great racing across both days, something that I very much enjoyed and would love to go back to for Season 10 as well. I've got to say a big thank you to Formula E for inviting me not only to go and watch the real-life action, but also to take part in the championship. The whole weekend was such a joy, and if you enjoy this content, make sure to smash a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.